Welcome to today's 5-Minute Friday. Today we're going to talk about how to feed plants, but the first thing to do is have a look around and see if plants need feeding. So I've walked around the nursery to find a plant that definitely needs feeding, and I've got this Swiss mint here. You can see it's a bit lackluster, it's a bit sort of lime green. We're looking for a deep green on this particular plant, and it just looks a bit tired, and to be honest it's not surprising. It's been in this pot for a little while. This is a mint that doesn't need feeding, so you can see the difference, much deeper green, and that can be the case for loads and loads of plants. So have a look around your garden, see if anything needs a bit of a feed, looks a bit tired. It's a good sign that it might need a feed. So what do? Well, this one's in a pot, so what you can do is pot it up. I'd go in a pot about that size, and where the feed comes from is from the fresh compost. So fresh fertilizer in the compost helps the plant really get away. It gives the roots a chance to get into some fresh compost as well, and there's plenty of food in there to help the plant grow, and you'll be surprised how quickly it will green up. There's also other methods if you don't want to pot it up or the plant is in the ground. So we could look at something like this. This is a slow release fertilizer. There's loads of brands out there. That's what we use in our compost. There's always a slow release fertilizer in our compost, and you can get different levels of feed, something that lasts 3 months, 6 months, a year. There's loads of different ones out there. But the basis of a slow release fertilizer is it releases slowly. It's fairly obvious, I know. Releases slowly, gives a nice underlying feed for the plant to grow from. A fantastic thing to put in your compost, and it's good for shrubs, and you can sprinkle them into and sometimes push it into the soil if you're growing in pots or something like that. A slightly more instant hit is a liquid fertilizer. Loads of you who have grown tomatoes before will be used to something like Tomarite, where you mix it up or pour it straight onto the tomatoes. We all know we've got to feed tomatoes and lots of our fruit and stuff like that, but it works really, really well for pot-grown ornamental plants or herbs as well. Not necessarily Tomarite, but a liquid feed. Liquid feeds are really, really good, and we use them a lot on the nursery, but you have to feed slightly more regularly. And basically, as you're watering, the liquid feed will go through and out of the plant, especially one that's in a pot. When you liquid feed, one thing definitely to remember is to make sure the plant actually wants to drink, or it's not going to take up the food. So if your plant is sodden wet, we had a lot of rain recently, if it's sodden wet, wait until it dries out, wait until it needs a drink, then put your liquid feed on, and then go from there. It's as simple as that. If you've got any questions, as with all of our videos, give us a shout, drop us a message, comment on the video, send us an email, write a letter. Who writes a letter? You could write a letter, but basically we'll answer as many questions as you can.